Welcome back to another Conductor Sunday Livestream. I am joined by very, very, very special guest, one that is a returning guest that I tell him all the time he needs to trademark his hair. I think you guys know who it is. And then we have two gentlemen from a newer YouTube channel called Leaving Today's Podcast. I've been on their channel twice now, and it's been a phenomenal discussion with the theme parks and everything. So without further ado, let's bring these gentlemen on and let them introduce themselves to you guys, and go check them out for sure, because they do provide awesome, amazing content. So we got the one and only Orange Grove 55. We got Mark from Leaving Today's Podcast, and we got Udi, also co-host of Leaving Today's Podcast. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Fantastic, Conductor. Thank you.
Super fantastic.
Yeah, doing good.
Awesome. OG 55, like I said, you need to trademark that hair, brother. You're driving me nuts. But
it's coming,
where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, no, thank you, Conductor, for inviting us on. Udi and Mark, great to meet you guys. Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, talking, breaking down all this great theme park stuff, about, Disneyland and Walt Disney World, and even some of the international parks. We also dip into a lot of studio stuff, even corporate side. We break down the quarterly earnings. So we get into it all over here at Orange Grove 55. But yeah, I'm OG 55, and you can find me here on YouTube. Oh, and on Instagram, Orange Grove 55.
Awesome. Well, again, OG 55, if everyone in the chat has not checked out his channel, I urge you to do so. I am basically the OG 55 family on his channel, because I seem like I'm over there all the time.
You are.
And vice versa. OG's over here on Theme Park Conductor all the time as well. So always great to have them. Udi, we have Udi and Mark from Leaving Today's Podcast. First time ever on Conductor Sunday Livestream. Udi, I'm going to start with you, sir. Where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on my Instagram, which would be HAXGOALIE, Haxgoli, and then you can find me also on the Leaving Today Podcast Instagram. That's where you find me.
Absolutely. Udi, it's always great to have you on.
Thank you for having me. It's going to be fun.
Mark, where can everyone find you on social media?
Hey, thanks a lot. Well, my name is Mark. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Leaving Today Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. Also, our website is leavingtodaypodcast.com, and we're pretty accessible there. For sure.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, we have a fantastic live stream to go over. We're going to be reviewing one of two videos right now. It's David from one of his sister channels, Fresh Baked Presents, and it's a video he put out a couple weeks ago. But since all of us think alike, I want to get your guys' opinion on what he has to say in this video. It's very crucial on what we're seeing at the Disneyland Resort, featuring the Disneyland Forward project. So without further ado, let me share my screen. And like I reminded you guys right before, at any point, if there's something you want to discuss, let me know. If I can't hear you, just wave your hand like the room's on fire. No point intended. And I will pause the video and we can discuss it.
All right.
Let me just make sure I have the audio, and then we're good to go.
Sweet.
1 second here. Here we go. All right. And off we go.
Start Flight Labs. 2 new attractions coming to Avengers Campus soon, though. In the very near future, a new project is going to begin over there in the Hollywood backlot. Pandora, the Avatar Experience, is coming to the backlot. It's going to be a huge change to that side of the park. As it happens, we have some updates in that regard. Disney has already confirmed that they're going to be closing, obviously, Monsters, Inc., the Mike and Sully to the Rescue attraction. That dark ride is going to be closing sometime in 26. also closing are the two huge studio buildings to its left and right, where there used to be that Avengers gift shop, and then where they had.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Conductor. Appreciate it. No, here's the thing too. I really want to make this point, and I've said this on my channel a lot, but it's worth repeating. Is basically what I'm trying to say. This area does not look very big, right?
No,
Right.
It doesn't look very big. But here's the thing: it is very deceiving because these sound stages are actually huge. When they start removing some of these, like this Hollywood and Dine building, and the one I don't know the official name of the one behind,
yeah,
and Monsters Inc. and all that stuff, this area is really, really, really going to open up. This is actually a sizable piece of property here. Now, I still can't wrap my head around Avatar going in here. My brain doesn't work like that. I don't know. It seems weird still because I think we're so used to what's currently there. But there is a lot of room here. And then we're also going to get a few more acres behind Monsters with that bus load unload area. But yeah, I just want to say that because these buildings do make it look smaller, a lot smaller than it actually is.
Well, you're not wrong. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. But my main issue with the whole thing is that regardless of how much space is there, it's not going to fit in there. It doesn't fit thematically. It doesn't fit with anything. It's going to feel shoehorned in there no matter what you do. It doesn't belong in that corner regardless of space. So you're right that there is a lot of room back there, and it is deceiving because we're so used to such a small area, right? Where we walk through, everything is kind of compact and tight. Once you remove that stuff, sure. But we also have show buildings that need to go back in there. And so I don't know. I just feel like no matter what happens there in that corner, going in that corner is a shoehorn, and it's not going to do anything. I just feel it's going to, no matter what they do to it, it's going to feel that same way. It's going to feel.
Yeah, that's a great point, Udi. That's a great point, Udi. Like, I mean, that's the weird thing, right? Because they're going to keep, from what we understand, they're going to keep Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you're going to walk down Hollywood Boulevard, and then you're going to have this, like this crazy alien planet to your left.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it on my channel a lot too, where it's like, how are they going to transition that? Unless they do like an Epic Universe portal or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Epic Universe portals it's cool, but I don't think that fits with the Disney theme so much.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I think like you guys, something that we focus on a lot, especially at Disneyland proper, are the transitions. And we often thought that DCA was more of like a almost like a testing ground for some of this stuff. It's like some people don't really care that much at DCA for the transitions. Let's just put it in here and see if it works. But for us, and I mean when I say us, I mean you guys too. I think transitions and theme are extremely important. I just don't like you guys have said. I just don't see how this ventures off to anything like Pandora-esque. I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, well said, Mark. And I agree with you guys. And here's the thing too. That's one of the things that's actually really frustrated me with Disney, and even somewhat with the fandom, but with Disney more so, is that I feel like DCA, they don't take it as seriously as Disneyland, right? Like if they were putting Avatar in Disneyland, believe me, it would be beautiful transitions like we got with Galaxy's Edge. But because it's DCA, okay, we'll just put it in the corner. And you know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like for me, I feel like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's not Disneyland, but it sits feet away from Disneyland. It's like having a gorgeous house and then not taking care of your front lawn. Like you've got to take care of the whole thing,
Totally.
Well, no, and here's the other part is like, we know that Disney Corp has been trying desperately to make that a one-day park, and they're doing. I mean, you look at the pricing structures now and everything. This all goes hand in hand, and it's fine, but it's a little difficult to do that when you have Disneyland proper right across the Esplanade. You have to, if you want to make DCA a full-day park and charge accordingly, man, you better have it up there. And when they do things like that, it's nowhere near it in my mind. So yeah, it's always been kind of like the offshoot park for sure, but you can't treat it as an all-day park and then do things like that. And the more seasoned, the more experienced Disneyland park fan and goer is not going to buy it. They're not going to buy it. They're going to pick it apart, kind of like we are. Like, well, that's not good. That's not good, and that's not good. So
Can I ask a question just real quick? And by the way, conductor, I love that we're only like 10 minutes into this show. We're already like off the rails. So this is
it's all good.
So you guys know who Sam Carter is?
Oh yeah, I love Sam.
Oh, yeah, Sam's a friend of ours. He
Yes,
we had him on our show. I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years ago during COVID, who was really big with us. But he's a huge DCA guy, and I asked him a question, which actually it turned out to be a good conversation. But I want to ask you both of you guys the same question: is if DCA was located somewhere else, let's say, I don't know, Huntington Beach, or for us, let's say it was in Davis or something, just by itself, would you think this was a full day park, and would this park be successful by itself, or do you think it needs Disneyland to help it out?
I don't think it would be. I don't think it's a full day park yet. It's close. It's getting there. It is getting there. But I still think that the problem with DCA is it kind of has a little bit of the same issue that like Universal has in a way. And I love Universal, but it's a lot of like thrill stuff or like stuff for kids. It needs more like that everybody stuff. Like the reason why Disneyland is like a full day experience and it's so beloved is because you have those rides that your 8-year-old can go on, but your 88-year-old grandma can go on too, like Pirates. DCA doesn't really have any of that. Now we are going to get the Coco ride, which is what it needs, you know, and even the Avatar thing, we need that too, but it doesn't have a really great mix, you know, and that's a problem. So yeah, I think it would struggle if it was somewhere else. Now with the Disney name, there's always going to be some level of interest with it. I mean, it's not going to like, you know, completely flop if it was somewhere else, but that Disneyland spillover for sure helps it.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, in my opinion. Yep. And the other thing too, real quick before Conductor comes back, real quick too, one of the biggest mistakes I think Disney, and this goes to your point, Udi, with the with how Disney doesn't really care so much about DCA. One of the biggest issues with that, when people come to Disneyland Resort, Disneyland Park is an absolute given. I mean, you're not going to go all the way from Michigan to Disneyland Resort and not go to Disneyland. But DCA is very much a expendable kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Right. So if you can make DCA a must-go-to park, you guarantee both, because you're going to do both then. If you have Disneyland and then DCA is like kind of weak and like phoning it in, it's easily skippable. So I don't understand the financial benefit even for Disney to sort of overlooking DCA. It seems like you get more money if both parks are strong.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, dude.
Well, no, you're exactly right, and the push for it to be an all-day park has been there, and so that's why, I mean, this is why part of the frustration comes into me with Avatar here, is because it's Disney doing what they've been doing a lot, is they continue to try to make you. We're going to make you like it, but I don't like it. But no, you have to like it. No, but I don't. But you have to. Instead of them listening and going, okay, well, they don't like it. How do we modify? How do we improve? How do we get the customer to buy in? And I don't get that feeling. Now it's like, well, no, you have to do it this way because we said so. And that's one of the biggest things that I think is going on with Disney Corp right now. And this is another kind of an example of it, is that, no, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. I'm like, but I don't think so. It doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. And we give all the explanation. And true, we need to have some faith in Imagineering. I get that, but still, they can't just say it's a full day park without putting up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Conductor, is your stream lagging? I think his stream might be lagging. I think he's like off. Or can you hear us, Conductor?
Well, see that, you know, it's lagging a little bit. So, yeah. Okay, so this is my whole ordeal. This is what I don't like, and I've told OG this a million times over. Okay. I said that, you know, with the latest price increases, not just here at Walt Disney's original Magic Kingdom, but out in Orlando too, but Orlando can justify it. Out here in Anaheim, I just don't feel we can justify the price increase the way we got and how high it went compared to previous years. And what do they have to show for it besides saying, oh, we're building stuff, but you won't experience it for another couple years. And some projects like Avatar, we might not see open until 2035.
Yes.
And that's a problem right there. And I hate that. And then you got whatever's going in the Simba parking lot. Then you got the Eastern Gateway project, which is this massive parking structure for guests. Then you have a pedestrian bridge going from the Eastern Gateway over Harbor Boulevard.
Right.
And that's going to take about minimum 48 months, maybe even 72 months. And, you know, their whole spiel is, oh, well, and again, Disney hasn't said this. This is what David's going to say in this video, is the mere fact that he's thinking they're going to start. Everything begins with Monsters, Inc. Once that closes, once they strip it, strip the animatronics, the theming, anything they need to possibly incorporate it into Monstropolis, which I'm going to share a post later on in this live stream where it shows Disney the Drew Dude actually took a picture. They're laying foundation work for the new coaster that's supposed to be going in Monstropolis in Hollywood Studios. But the problem is, if we're waiting on Monsters Incorporated to close, then we're waiting on the two Avengers attractions to close, open. Then after that, then they could start the Eastern Gateway and Coco. What chance do we have seeing Avatar in 2030? There's no way in hell. I'm just going to be realistic. There's no way.
No. I mean,
there's zero chance of that.
So he's suggesting that Monsters Inc. is the linchpin and all this.
Yeah. So I'm going to play the video so you guys can hear, and then again, just wave me on if you want me to pause, and we'll talk about it.
Sounds good.
At Flynn's Arcade, which they haven't done anything in that studio building for probably 10 years. It's been vacant for about 10 years, except for that short, brief time when they did the Flynn's Arcade during Electronica. I digress. New information has come available to me, and it is my understanding that Monsters, Inc., we should be getting a date, an actual date. They've only said so far, Disney, that it's going to be closing sometime in early 26 or something to that effect. The assumption was winter, but we don't have a date. We don't have an actual date. I'm hearing we're going to be getting that date pretty soon, probably in the next week or two is my guess. But that, not that it's going to close in a week or two, that we're going to get the date that it will close in a week or two. Now, my initial expectation in that regard was that it was going to be sometime, like I said, maybe February, because I feel like they want to run it obviously at least through the holiday season. And then once the holidays are done, the attraction is up for grabs. So I thought maybe February, but now I'm getting more additional information that it could be even longer. We could be waiting until about May of 2026 before they even close Monsters, Inc., let alone start working on Pandora. And the reason for that is Avengers Infinity Defense.
Oh, of course, commercial. Sorry.
This game, you're not ready for it.
That project, Avengers Infinity Defense and Stark Flight Lab and the Pandora project, the Avatar Experience project, those two are symbiotic in a lot of ways, which we'll get into in a minute. But my understanding is that project, because Avengers is delayed. Avengers is taking a little bit longer, which is surprising considering it looks to, all outward appearances that it's hauling, that they're making tremendous progress. But there have been delays, and it could be weather related. Perhaps we've seen this before, where they've had some unexpected weather, and they had to shut down, operations for a little while. Although this was just, it wasn't unexpected. And two, it was just a couple days. So, I mean, maybe it's that, maybe it's not, probably not. But there are delays. It's taking them a little longer. They haven't reached their benchmarks, my guess is. So they pushed back the closure of Monsters Inc. Not because Monsters Inc. is not ready, not because they're not ready for Avatar or Pandora, or they're not ready to build, but because they don't want to do this one until they're done with that one. They are, they're symbiotic in that way. Now, I'm hoping that isn't an actual issue in the long term, in terms of when they finish.
Go ahead.
A couple of things here. Yeah, if that's true, right, where they're going to, because it was going to be early 2026, and now Dave is saying he's hearing it might be May. That's a really weird decision. Like, you're going to close it right before the summer season. Now, I get it. I mean, even if you close it in early 26, it's still going to be closed for the summer season, but you would think that you would want to get things situated when it's not as busy in the off season.
Yep.
Like, it seems weird to me you're doing it right before the summer. I don't know. That's an odd decision from if that's true. If Disney's doing that, that's a weird call.
Well, I would counter the thought that they're symbiotic in that sense, because I agree with you, OG, that one should not do the other. While I get the point being made is that because you don't want to have a big open dead area, but I don't think that Disney is above that. Like, all of a sudden now they're going to worry about show. How much do they have going on in Disneyland proper? How many scrims were up? How many walls were up? I think that idea of good show, unfortunately, has been kind of thrown to the wayside for a little while now. So I disagree with the fact that if Disney is doing that, I just don't think so. I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, he obviously gets more information than I do, but in my mind, I go, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all, because they could, if they wanted to. Well, think about it. Galaxy's Edge, they closed off the trail. They had the fence up there for years, and they had the picture of them, and we were all fine with that because we knew something was coming. They could do the exact same thing there. So maybe this goes hand in hand with the fact that they're trying to make it an all-day park, and they can't really. But again, I don't think Disney, honestly, Disney corporate, I don't think thinks that far ahead. Is thinking that far ahead. I just don't. I think he's, in one extent, he's giving him a little bit too much credit, which is kind of crazy to say, but I just don't think so. I just don't think that one depends on the other. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I agree with you, OG. It's weird. It's weird that would be tied together.
Let me ask a question, Udi, just real quick. He mentioned, for those of you who don't know, Udi does construction, HVAC stuff, commercial stuff. So he is a better. I'm not sure what you guys do, but I'm just getting his perspective. When he mentioned there were some construction delays due to weather. I mean, how much delays are we talking about? And what I mean, just because the rain, they can't weld in the rain, or what can't they do?
Well, without knowing what stage they are, I mean, the pictures we had of last were a lot of metal frame up, and a lot of the main parts of the building were up. I don't know where they are, because concrete work does stop, or should stop, with rain. If they're still doing concrete work, 100% stop. If they're doing wire work or underground, 100% needs to stop. Now, for it being a few days, then to me, that's another thing. So typically, I will tell you, in my experience, in my years of working, the things that are going to delay you are going to be two things. It's going to be inspectors not passing your stuff. So code, whatever it could be, or two, material delay. I would bet more than anything, it's a material delay. So they're having a difficult time getting whatever they need to get, whether it be steel, wherever they are in that phase. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. A small project we had way up in Northern California, I was working. They told me, just for electrical panel boxes, the ones that have all the little meters, in apartment buildings, you guys all know those. It was almost a year delay for those.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For those parts. So my gut tells me, if there's a delay, it's probably a material delay. It's just me,
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
And also, real quick, before you hit play again, Conductor, real quick, one thing that Disney does do, and this is sort of this part of the delay stuff, is this fiscal period kind of drag out that they like to do. And they like to drag these projects out over more fiscal periods to kind of spread that cost around too. Right. So that's another element here where they kind of play that game, where Universal doesn't really do that. Universal has a different strategy where they get in there and they just want it open as fast as possible, like that Fast and Furious thing. But Disney drags it out for that for that cost spread. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think we brought it before, where how the differences between the two companies reporting is very interesting to look at. When you have most companies will go line item by line item, Disney has a tendency to compact them together. So they do that. But here's the caveat to that. I think, and this is why what Universal is doing is so interesting, is because it may push them to forego that. I think if they're paying attention, it should 100% push them to not follow that mantra that they've been doing and realize what time it is and realize we got to get moving. So it'll be interesting.
100%.
100%.
Well,
ahead,
see, this is interesting because you know, if you look at it, you know, when you look at the building for Avengers Campus, you got Stark Flight Labs, you have Infinity Defense. Okay, all the stuff they need to work on, it's covered. It's not in the elements to a point. There's a roof, there's multiple roofs, so they could start that process. But like OG mentioned when you guys were talking, because it is a little laggy, so I'm trying to hear the audio through my phone.
Yeah,
because I don't know what's going on with my computer. It's acting funny for whatever reason. But you know, one of the things that you know drives me nuts is the Disneyland company, the Walt Disney Company. They sit there and they want to sprawl things out, like OG was saying, per fiscal quarter.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you got their competitor, which is only 50, 60 miles away in Los Angeles, you know, saying the hell with financial quarters. Let's just build this stuff, get it open, and show our investors, show our annual pass holders, hey, we mean business. We're going to bring stuff to life as quick as possible, and it shows. Look at Epic Universe. You know, it hasn't even been open a full year. They're already expanding. Look at the Texas park, the kids park. That's already almost going to be open pretty soon. Then you got the UK parks already starting construction out there. Then you got, you know, the Las Vegas experience with Horrors Unleashed. They already named a second location. I heard there's 3 more locations on top of the Chicago location they want to build. Then you got all this other stuff, and then Hollywood. I know Mark and Udi, you haven't been out there yet.
Well, for a while.
Yeah, for a while. But I have to tell you, the massive transformation Universal Hollywood's going through is beyond bizarre. Because OG goes over there almost regularly now. It's funny because I twisted his mind. He used to be all about Disney, just total Disney dude, total access, 100%.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I said, hey, you know, I met him. We started hanging out. I said, you know what? Let's go to Universal a couple times. Well, now he's addicted, so he at least has to go two to 3 times a week.
Well, it's great because it's great because I'm pretty close to Universal. I can take the side streets to get over there, so it's easier for me to get there. And then so I'm in the valley, so it's like I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump for Universal, and then it's just the whole process is easier, just getting in and doing the whole thing. You know, I'm not dealing with the tram trying to get from the parking structure to the gate and all that stuff. So it is, and it's just I can go in there, pop in, have some lunch, you know, ride the tram tour, do my thing, and head out. Yeah, I've been going like every weekend almost now.
That is awesome. I love that. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Well,
it's been fun.
Well, see, okay, so before I play this, I want to just get to some comments real quick. Just to you know, answer a couple. Haunted Mermaid 13 says, I wish there was room for this Pandora over Grizzly. She means where the Grizzly River Run is, so that it would blend better than Hollywood. And you know, me and OG, again, he put out a video today that we recorded yesterday. And I have to tell you, and we're going to react to Bricky's video because he kind of talks about this, how destructive it would be trying to kind of. You guys ever hear the term like splitting the baby in half? That's what Hollywood Boulevard would be. If you got rid of half, it would look funny and it'll look weird. So it doesn't fit right. It's kind of like jamming a puzzle piece together that won't fit in the slot. It doesn't work.
Right. I agree. It's a weird.
I don't feel that Avatar, being one of the biggest successes for Disney so far in the box office, besides animated films, should be shoehorned in the back corner of a land that failed with the 1.0, scale. I just don't feel it's necessary. What I feel should happen is Pandora should go into the Simba parking lot, and obviously Zootopia 2 is doing phenomenal. Zootopia 1 did phenomenal. Why not bring Zootopia to the Hollywood backlot? You wouldn't have to destroy any of the Hollywood Boulevard because Zootopia kind of takes place in that metropolitan, type theming, and you could stick it right in the Hollywood backlot and it would be justified.
Well, yeah, no, that would Zootopia. If you replaced Hollywoodland with Zootopia, that makes all the sense in the world. It really does, and that's why it really surprises me they're going in this direction. Now, there might be. I've said it on my channel, but it bears repeating. There might be, because I do know that Josh Giamaro said that this area is based on Way of Water and the next couple of movies. It's possible there's something in these movies that'll make this make more sense. I don't know. I doubt it.
That's a good point. But
well, you bring up that brings up an interesting question in my mind. What do you remember of Way of Water?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. These movies are pretty forgettable, right?
Right.
It's funny.
We're talking about how it goes through the city. We can talk about the rail train going, and mind you, the monorail fits into the Zootopia. There's so many things that Zootopia fits, and we can actually think about that. The lambs, the line. We can go on. We can talk about the police station. We remember that.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about Pandora?
I don't know.
That's a great point.
That's a great point.
So I'm with Conductor all the way with dude, Zootopia. Yeah. Beautiful.
It makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes so much sense.
And the other part that I also I've always found interesting about Avatar in general is that it's not really a Disney property. So not really. Well, it's a James Cameron thing, and I don't know why it's made so much money. But hey, more power to him. But my whole point is it doesn't hit the zeitgeist. It hasn't. Regardless of the amount of money we talk about all the time.
Yeah,
I remember Sully. That's it.
Well, yeah. Her comment is correct, just like Conductor's. But to your point, Udi, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Avatar. I can't even tell you one character's name in there. But I did get a chance to go to Animal Kingdom a few years ago.
Yeah,
and knowing nothing about Avatar, I was blown away by how cool Pandora looked.
Yeah,
but on that day, they closed at like 6 or 7, so you couldn't see the bioluminescent stuff. But it was cool just to walk around in there, and I go, "Oh, this is awesome." But okay,
it also fits in the park. It also fits in the park that it's located.
100%, it does. Yeah, 100. Yeah, it does. So,
well said.
So I'm going to play more of the video and see what he says.
There's Avengers because with the new film, the Doomsday movie is coming out end of next year. And you would think they'd want those things to be, coordinated, that they'd want to have that attraction open just because of the hype, because people are going to be thrilled about Avengers again. Maybe not necessarily because there's some sort of synergy between the two movies. I don't think there's not going to be Doomsday, features in the ride per se, but there's just going to be hype. So you would think they'd want this ready. So I don't know if this delay is going to be final with respect to when they might hope to deliver Avengers Infinite Defense. But let's get back to Monsters and Mike and Sully, because that's really what I want to talk about. We don't know yet how the Pandora project is going to be related to the transportation hub and the Eastern Gateway. They are related because they're all sort of working in the same space. This is where things get really hinky. If there's a delay for Mike and Sully to the rescue, that would also impact the Eastern Gateway project. They need to start building the Eastern Gateway, right? But part of that project, part of the Eastern Gateway project is extending that, with via the bridge, which we'll talk about that again in a minute, via the bridge that's going to connect the parking lot that they're building on the other side of Harbor Boulevard with the transport.
So I want to ask you guys something, and this is a good point where I stopped this, where it shows the concept art. And I told this to OG yesterday when we did the video. I said, when you look at this concept art, and I actually have a picture of it from mickeyvisits.com, but see this back end here that's supposedly going to be Avatar?
Yeah.
They did say that Avatar is going in the Hollywood backlot, but the problem is when we look at just this one picture. Now, if they had multiple pictures, it would do it more justice, but they only have this one picture.
Yeah.
How can we be 100% certain? No doubts in my mind that back end is Avatar. That could be for that. As far as I'm concerned, that could be anything. That could be Avatar. That could be Zootopia. That could be new land with a different IP that we're not even thinking of. It could be an extension of Avengers Campus. I know I'm going on a rant here, but again, just this one picture does not do it justice. And I'm not saying Avatar won't go in the Hollywood backlot, but the second thing that concerns me about this, you guys see the sky bridge going across here, and it's literally butt up against the service road that's literally behind the show building. I honestly thought the sky bridge would be more towards the back end of Tomorrowland and the backstage areas, even where the monorail track is, and it kind of go out and then loop back in and kind of be alongside the monorail track going down. Because the problem I see here is, and I told you guys this on your channel when I was on last, and even Orange Grove 55, I said, if they build it just like this, then that means they are cutting it off for Avatar for any future expansions, because obviously they can't go over that bridge. So they're almost shooting themselves in the foot.
They're not going to.
Go ahead, OG.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, the expansion will never go in this direction because, it's an infrastructure zone, basically. You're 100% correct on that. If they do expand Avatar, if it goes into Hollywood land and they do expand it, it'll probably just take over the rest of Hollywood land, whatever is remaining. I would assume it would probably just move into the animation building and butt up closer to towards Mission Breakout. I mean, I think that'll be more likely the expansion area. But yeah, you're right. It's not going to ever go further into this because you can't. You need all this walkway for the gateway and what have you. So,
well, first off, I actually love this concept art. I wish I had this framed in my house. I love the colors and I love seeing Space Mountain there. But to your point about this expansion, guys, what's happening with Hyperion Theater? Is that on the chopping block? Or is that part of some sort of future expansion, or what have you guys heard?
Well, this is the interesting thing about that, Mark, is that they haven't said anything about it. Now they made the official announcement that Hollywood area where Monsters Inc. is, that's going to close. That's been confirmed by Disney. We got the confirmation that the red car trolley is going away forever. Okay, that was confirmed. It's weird though that the Hyperion would stay, being such a massive building butting up against this very aesthetic looking land. I mean, that I would assume that sightline wise, that building would impact Pandora. My thing, and actually shout out to our friend Barry Place 28, because he brought this to my attention. He was on my show a couple months ago. It's possible that more stuff, more shoes are gonna drop when it comes to Hollywood land. Maybe they just haven't announced the Hyperion going away yet, but that's part of the plan. I mean, that's also a possibility. But who knows? If they keep it there, though, it's going to lead to some kind of eyesores a little bit, right? With Pandora. So and they're not even using it. We haven't had a show since the Captain America thing,
which is very short.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's a whole nother thread right there. Is like, how important is live entertainment in a theme park now? I mean, you know.
Well, I think Disney would probably rather get rid of it in the park, rebuild a theater in downtown Disney, and charge you. Because then now you're paying to get in to watch the show, like how they do with Cirque du Soleil over at Disney Springs and stuff like that. I can see them doing something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just how you know.
I'm curious though. I'm curious because I think a lot of these questions are not going to be fully known until we get a new CEO. I think.
Oh, CEO.
Yeah, I think whoever that turns out to be, and we've talked about it. I think we talked about it with Conductor. If it winds up being Josh, I think the overall tone may shift a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how it would be anybody else. I can't think of her name. I don't see it being her. Dana Walden. Yeah, I don't see it being Dana Walden. I just don't. I don't think in the moment in time where the company lies that her being elevated to that position would be anything but a train wreck. But I think he's got somewhat of a shot, and I think that that will really tell us the future of like live entertainment in the park. I mean, I think we can all agree that street atmosphere, shows, all these kind of things are what really separates Disney away from other theme parks and other amusement parks. So to refocus back in on that would be very, very important. So the Hyperion, I think, I don't know. I love the building itself. The interior is gorgeous. I think for a theater, is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in, for just being in a place like that, like Disneyland and DCA. But I don't know. I don't see it long for the future. I see them tearing it down. I really do. Yeah, I really do. And which would make me sad. But I mean, it may just have to happen.
They haven't been investing in it at all.
No,
they haven't invested in it at all. Well, and it's dangerously close to Avatar, so it doesn't look good, you know.
Well, you know, and this is one of the discussions that we're gonna wind up having on our channel and our show is going to be how different it would be if we never would have had COVID. Because I think
that's something we talked about.
Yeah, we've talked about doing that show. And we're going to wind up doing that because I think it's an interesting theoretical, hypothetical type of discussion. Because I think a lot of the things that we're dealing with now have we can tie them right back to that. So I don't know. It'd be I just don't know. I just think I think Hyperion's not long for the planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And everybody, do apologize. There's a little bit of a lag on conductors, and if there's that weird quiet between, it's because of that.
Yeah, we want him to get in.
Just so people know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, it's something that I'm concerned about, quite frankly, and thanks OG for that. I have concerns because Bricky, great, and I mean awesome content creator, great friend of mine, of OG's, 100%. He doesn't think the Hyperion's going away. Personally, for me, I have to respectfully disagree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that thing looms over so tall. I don't think any type of barriers they put around Avatar is going to disguise that massive show building of the theater when you're in the world of Avatar. I don't think so. I think the absolute best thing to do, quite frankly, is just annex that building and either give it to Avatar for expansion or give it to Avengers Campus. Because it would be totally too weird to have Avengers Campus here, Avatar over here, and something completely different right in the middle. It would not make sense. So it's got to go to Avatar or it's got to go to Avengers Campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, Pandora could, like like it's weird because Pandora's going in a weird spot because it's like it's on that far end. If it was closer to Mission Breakout, I can almost see that like otherworldly transition. That would kind of be cool. But we're not even over. I don't think Pandora's going to go that far. So it's like close enough, but yet far enough where it's weird. You know, I don't know. This spot is really surprising me. I was convinced, you guys, when they announced Pandora for DCA, I was convinced it was going in the symbol lot. I really had no clue it was going here. You know,
100%.
It's wild.
But can we just agree that we're happy it's not going into Disneyland proper? Can we just agree?
Yeah, I think that like if my only thing that with Disneyland is if it did go into Disneyland, I would feel more confident in Disney, like making sure it was done right.
Oh yeah,
that's my only thing, you know.
100%. Yep, 100%.
Go ahead, conductor.
Yeah,
if you can hear us, got it.
Transportation hub. That transportation hub, where they're going to be sending that bridge and where they're going to be sending guests, is also where they're going to be building the Avatar experience, where the Toy Story buses drop off, etc. That's going to be in some future world. That's going to be Pandora. Will that perceived delay from possibly February out into May for the closure of Mike and Sully's To the Rescue, how will that affect the Eastern Gateway project, the transportation hub, the new entrance into the park from that side of the park? It stands to reason that it would, because you can't start building the connection between the Eastern Gateway, that parking lot across Harbor Boulevard. You can't, the connection between that and the harbor entrance where the transportation hub is now, you can't start doing that until you're ready to demo whatever spaces they are demoing, i.e. the Toy Story drop-off area. If they're not ready to demo that, then you can't start building out in that direction. And they're not ready to demo that if they're not ready to close Monster. You can't start that demo process of the transportation hub until you close Mike and Sully's To the Rescue. It's unfortunate, by the way, I should add, that this is even necessary, but as my understanding is, and this is typical of many projects that we've seen in the past, there are multiple contractors, but they often will just shift those contractors from this job to the next job, and they just keep moving. It's a shell game. They keep moving.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, Udi had a comment about, I think, the construction.
Sorry. He's proving, in my mind, he's proving my point. I think if what they're saying, he's saying, they're putting way too much weight on them not wanting to close Mike and Sully's. He's literally laid out what it needs to happen, right? You tell me, and anyone in any corporate entity is saying, well, we can't close, we can't start all these millions of dollars of projects and years of projects because we're not ready to close one attraction. It doesn't make any sense to me. So as he's moving along, I think he's basically proving to me his own counter argument to that point. There's no way in my mind that you stop millions and millions and millions of dollars because of a delay on one attraction, and then we can't close Mike and Sully's.
Well, and Mike and Sully isn't even like a really popular attraction. I mean,
exactly,
it doesn't.
My point.
Yeah.
If it goes away tomorrow, there's going to be a small niche of people who are going to be like, oh no, and then they'll forget. So I just think that whoever is talking to him and wherever, they're putting way too much weight on Mike and Sully, and I just disagree. I just don't agree. And this is coming from, again, from me, from my background, and I've seen in the project I'm working on now is tens of millions of dollars. They don't delay. When money is sitting there and needs to be used in the millions of dollars range, they don't just sit there and go like, oh, it's fine. No. The pressure gets put on, the screws get turned, and things begin to happen. If not, people lose jobs. That's the reality of it. So I disagree with this whole thing that Mike and Sully's holding up this whole entire project. Unless I hear a lot more evidence, I'm sitting here going, no, Not at all. Not even a little bit.
So the Eastern Gateway parking structure is what is right there as we speak right now on Sunday, December 7th. Or sorry, November 30th. What is that? Is it that parking lot right now? That's there?
The Eastern Gateway?
Yeah. What is basically there right now where that structure is going to go?
Nothing. They bulldozed. Disney bought a hotel. I think it was called the Carousel Inn, if I'm not mistaken. They bought it. They bulldozed it, and it's sitting there empty. It's an empty lot.
So what is preventing them from building that out?
Right.
What is the relationship to that to Mike and Sully to the rescue? Or Monsters Inc.?
None. That's my point. None.
I mean, unless I'm missing something.
Okay, without knowing the ins and outs, obviously, without knowing details, this is me just thinking.
Yeah.
It's probably more with permitting and planning and whatever. You would be amazed at how much city works stop things. Shockingly amazed at how crazy it can be. And if they get a city manager, an inspector or whatever that goes in there and goes, no, the project doesn't move forward unless they're signed off on. And for everybody who doesn't know, every building, everybody has a big plan. There's, plans, thousands of pages. And there will be details of how you need to build everything. Everything to how and so on every end of it, it'll say to code as you read everything down, on the bottom of everything, it'll say to code or by governing authority. Governing authority will be the county or the city or the state. So they could literally be going, no. So I feel like there's something else going on other than Mike and Sully's. It just makes more sense for it to be something else. Or it could be money. Maybe they don't have the money for it. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. Yeah, Mike and Sully just doesn't seem like a big enough. I don't think Disney's really.
No.
I don't think it's that much of a thing for them. It was a re-theme anyway, and it was Superstar Limo, and it's kind of it's 100% agree with you.
Yeah, it's that comment that said we need a new CEO. Period.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, just real quick. If you guys all became CEO, what's the very first thing you're going to do?
Just one thing. Man, no, I already answered.
Just one thing. Just one thing. Not like 15 things.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I already know.
I would. Mine's a broader kind of thing. I would really get serious about DCA. I think, like I said earlier, with that, I think that you need to really bring that up to par, where you're never going to be Disneyland, but you can get it closer to Disneyland than it currently is.
Yeah.
I think they've made a mess of the pier when they added Pixar in there.
Yeah.
It's Pixar Pier, but then you have Mickey on the wheel, and I would really go into DCA and just really make that park something special.
Okay.
If I was Tio, yeah.
Conductor, what about you?
What about you, Conductor?
So personally, for me, this is what I would do as a CEO. I'm going to go alongside with OG on this, and I personally, as a broad thinking, I would just say enough with the red tape. Our competitor 50 miles away does not, even condone red tape, and they're building like crazy. If they could do it, why can't we? They're on a movie lot, and you would think they would be more restrictive on construction and whatnot, not to interrupt multi-$100 million movies that are filmed on the lower lot. So personally, for me, I couldn't agree more with OG. Enough with the red tape. Just start fast tracking everything. Get as much open as you can, and as much built as you can for those international crowds in 28. Because I said to OG yesterday on his video, and you could go check it out on Orange Grove 55 now. It is on his channel. I said the thing is, Universal probably already knew, because they were going to be the host, the main epicenter of where the Olympics media broadcast center is going to be. And then you got Disneyland they probably knew, both them and Universal Comcast probably knew all the way back, if I had to throw a bid in, and this is with my eyes closed pointing, back since 2019. And if that's the case, and I'm just saying, if it was the case, or maybe even sooner than 2019, who knows? But enough time and years have passed. Why now all of a sudden they're building Avengers Campus, like they're building the 2 rides, which is a problem for me, because it's not like they had to rip something out that was going to interrupt guest experience. It was behind backstage anyway, so that shouldn't have started a long time ago. The Eastern Gateway project that we keep talking about, that was greenlit 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden now are we just, and we haven't even started that construction. And like David's going to say in this video at some point, if we get to it, because I love this discussion, we can sit there and be stuck on this video all live stream. I don't care. It's awesome. But, my whole thing is, if Disney's going to go the route and say, we cannot, we're basically handcuffing ourselves and we can't do anything until we close Monsters, we strip it, and then we demo it, and then we wait for the 2 Avengers attractions to be built and completed, or nearly completed. Then on top of that, then we wait for the Eastern Gateway to be built. So that's another 2.5 years alongside with the bridge. And then on top of that, you got a Coco dark ride that's supposed to be based off Shanghai Pirates. And here's my problem. They said, oh, we're starting construction. Yeah, where? They said, oh, yeah, it's going to happen this winter. Well, it's now what? November the 30th? We're only, tomorrow's December the 1st?
Yeah.
And when are you going to start this? Are you going to show us maybe some trees getting removed? That's construction, or what? I'm kind of lost in leader here. I don't know what to think about this.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, them raising the prices the way they did this year out of all other years was a big, big, big negative, because they have absolutely nothing to show for it besides construction walls where you can even find them. And on top of that, when guests are roaming in those areas to enjoy that magic that Disney loves to bring to their guests, all they're hearing is construction vehicles.
Well, real quick, well, you're 100% right, Conductor, with that. And real quick, before you play the video again, a couple things. The issue with the price increases is that there is a huge swath of fans that will do anything just to have that. Like they will take I don't want to say abuse, because that's kind of a harsh term, but like they will take the price hike. They will take no new attractions, right? They will take the construction side, and they'll gladly pay $2,000 for the Inspire key. And that's the problem, is that as Disney, I'm thinking, well, why am I going to change? If people are willing to pay for it, I mean, dang, okay, cool. And more people need to vote with their wallets. Unfortunately, they don't. They're just like, well, it's Disney. I love Disney. It's like, that's great. But we're getting kind of shafted as the fan, because people aren't willing to kind of vote more with their money. And if they did, we would see improvements. But unfortunately, there's not enough people that are doing that.
Well said, G.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, let me say that I think the drastic price hike that we saw is the indicator that a lot of the people who were like that are now beginning to walk away. And because of that, they can't risk their bottom line.
And those contracting groups around. So they want to wait until they're done.
Conductor. Oh, there you go.
That's fine. He's behind. So let me just do this real quick. All I'm saying is I think the price increase is a good sign telling you that people are beginning to vote with their wallet. I don't know how many people in your lives who have been avid Disney people who are now like, oh man, I don't know if I can go. Oh, I have a few in my life that are like, man, I want to go, but oh man, that dollar bill.
Yep.
And so I think the price increase is one of the things that's an indicator that they realize, oh man, we don't have what we had before, and we need to make up our bottom end our bottom line somehow. So that's what you got.
That's fair. Interesting point.
They have to wait until they're done with Avengers Infinite Defense until they can start doing. Oh my God! So they can't start working on Mike and Sully's To the Rescue, and therefore they can't start working on the Eastern Gateway, which again is unfortunate because none of this can happen. None of Avatar can happen. None of the Disneyland Forward project can happen until the Eastern Gateway is built, because that Eastern Gateway, the parking that they're going to be using and in those lots is going to replace the parking that is being currently used at the Simba lot and the downtown Disney or Disneyland Hotel parking lots. Frustrating how interconnected all of this is. You know what? Let's talk about order of operations here as we wrap up that part of the conversation, because it's important to try to understand how these things are going to be happening and how they relate to each other. The very first thing that's going to happen, that we should look forward to, the next thing that we should look forward to while they're in the middle of building Avengers Infinite Defense, that's, we're maybe halfway through. Demo is going to begin first by the end of this year for those backstage areas for Coco. We talked about that in a previous video. There's permits filed. Looks like they're getting ready. They're moving stuff out of those buildings. It looks like they might be starting to move. So we're going to see demo first at Coco behind the Incredicoaster. Then they're going to close Mike and Sully's To the Rescue based on, the whispers that I'm hearing, sometime around May of 26. Demo won't begin on that building until at least the summer, I would guess July, August. I'm not sure how long it's going to take them to, because the first thing they have to do, they can't just start, close the attraction and tear everything down. They're going to strip it for parts. They're going to strip Monsters Inc. for parts and use any of those animatronics, save the ride vehicles, save some of the set pieces, whatever. Not for another attraction. I don't believe that Monsters Inc. is ever going to be put somewhere else.
So, Udi, I want to ask you and Mark something. Do you honestly think that they are going to strip this attraction, the animatronics, the theming, all that stuff, and incorporate it into Monstropolis in Hollywood Studios? That's why we're seeing a delay. That's why we are now hearing, and again, it's not confirmed by Disney by any means necessary, but from what David's hearing from sources from the inside, they're saying possibly May, just to close the attraction, not to demo it, just to close the attraction. What do you guys think?
I think they would be foolish to not use the existing animatronics and props for the new attraction in Hollywood Studios. I mean, it's the same theme. I don't know why you wouldn't do that.
No, I agree that it would make sense that they would use some of the stuff over, but again, I don't see them having to wait. I just don't see that. It doesn't make any logical, linear, financial sense at all. So I don't think it's going to wait at all. I think they should, like I said, I don't know who he's hearing that from or whatever, but it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense that this, for lack of a better word, it may sound harsh, throwaway attraction is causing the stop of months and months and months into years because they can't close this. I'll put it this way. If it is true, then whoever made that decision should be fired.
Okay, gotcha. I'm going to play the video again. Yeah. And again, just wave me on if you see something you want to bring up.
Yeah.
That attraction will be no more. Even as something else, I don't think. Well, maybe they might use the animatronics. They might recycle those animatronics for another attraction. But that, they have to do all that first, and that could take months. So I'm thinking maybe summer, and this is just speculation on my part. I'm just trying to do the mental math. Maybe summer of 26, we start seeing demo of Mike and Sully To the Rescue and the two studio buildings to its left and right. And then they would close that side of Hollywood backlot. At that same time, once they get the go ahead, and this is how I was talking about before, how things are symbiotic. Once they get the go ahead to start demoing Monsters Inc. At the same time, you'll probably see your first action at the Eastern Gateway. That means, the lot will be closed. Currently it's a cast member parking lot. They'll close that lot. We've driven by there once or twice, and you can't really see much, but it's just a giant parking lot right now, flat one. And they're going to build, a real parking lot. You'll start seeing your first action there, maybe in summer of 26. They'll close it off. The gates will go up, and you'll start seeing them tear up the concrete and, do the grading, the dirt grading and everything for the actual construction. At the same time that, or perhaps they will be doing simultaneously, but it's at what point, I'm not sure, while they're building the actual parking structure on the other side of Harbor, on the hotel side and on the, the restaurant side of things, actual Harbor Boulevard, they will begin simultaneously building that bridge that connects the Eastern Gateway to the Harbor Boulevard entrance of Disneyland. We're going to get a whole new entrance, and that's going to sort of occupy, as we mentioned before, that transportation hub space and the Toy Story bus drop-off area, and that'll be, Pandora. My expectation, by the way, for the Eastern Gateway is probably 18 to 24 months. That's how long I think it'll take them to build that parking structure, 18 to 24 months. We followed them building the Pixar Palace parking structure. You guys remember that? We watched that from day one, from the, when they closed I think it was it Peter Pan? Was that what they called it? The Peter Pan lot? Do you guys remember that? I think it was Peter. You could park there in that. It was a flat parking space next to where the trams used to be, where the loading and unloading of the trams used to. God, it's such a long time ago. You guys remember? Oh, yeah. That was such a long time ago. You could park there, walk over to the trams, take it. Anyway, we watched them from day one build that thing, and it took about 2 years for that structure. And it's a pretty good sized structure. I'm not sure how this at first I had heard the Eastern Gate was going to be the biggest one that they've ever built. They may have pared that down a little bit. I'm not sure. But I'm guessing 18 to 24. I think they're trying to fast track it, but 18 to 24 months to get the Eastern Gateway built and the bridge that connects. After they begin those projects, or nearly about the same time, is when we should see them wrapping up. And all this time they've been building Avengers Infinite Defense, as we talked about, all those things in order of operations. All while they're doing all that, they're also still building Avengers Infinite Defense, and I expect that attraction to be done. Hopefully, that was the plan. End of year 2026, I think. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure. That does not seem likely.
No.
To end of two, as much as they want Avengers Infinite Defense to be open at the same time as the film. The film is projected to release this time next year, December 2026. I don't think they're going to make that.
No,
I think it's more likely that they open, in 27 at some point. It's not necessary that the film and the attraction open, because the film is running for 2 or 3 months perhaps, while the attraction is forever. So when you think about it in those terms, it's not a make or break situation that they open the attraction at the same time as the film. I think
so. Actually, he makes an excellent point. The reason why I mentioned, and I stopped it right here, was because if you have the movie premiere, okay, and it's in the theater for 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 months tops, because sorry to say it, that's just how long movies last in the theaters nowadays, and then it goes to streaming. To be honest with you guys, let's say it's 5 months. Just to be generous, let's say it's 5 months.
Okay.
Within that 5 months, could they add some type of promotional at the end of the movie to kind of promote, hey, this is what we're building based off this movie? You might see scenes or some type of something in Infinity Defense, and it kind of entices people that are watching the movie in the theaters, or even people that don't want to go to the theaters and just find theaters just dead and want to watch it from their couch in their living room. Mm-hmm. They watch it all the way through, and then they get that cross promotion kind of saying, hey, come check out these attractions opening in April of 2026 or March of 2026. What do you think?
That would be interesting, Conductor, if they did that.
Yeah,
if they did
yeah.
that crossover, you know, like maybe like a post-credit scene that kind of ties to like King Thanos and this attraction or something crazy.
Yeah.
Would they do that? I mean, it's possible. You know, it's kind of like a bigger conversation too with the MCU. The MCU is sort of like not what it used to be, you know, and the whole like connected universe thing though right now is sort of like struggling a lot. I'll just say a little bit, but I feel like it's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how they're going to do that. I don't know if there's like as much of an appetite for that as say in 2018 or something like that, you know, but maybe it's possible.
I can see them adding like during like a preview before the movie starts to have, you know, like something, here's what you could expect to see maybe at the in DCA. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this though. I don't know if Conductor can still hear us or not, but OG, you can definitely answer is, do you think that these two attractions are tied to each other in the same story, or are they independent of each other?
Oh, that is a good question. So the Kuka Arm and the Infinity Defense.
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, I think they're going to be, my guess, and I'm totally guessing here, I think they're just going to be two separate things.
I agree.
Yeah, the King Thanos ride will have its own storyline, and then the Kuka Arm will be like, "Hey, recruits, we're gonna train you to be a superhero." That kind of like that very meta.
Oh yeah,
like you know, like self-aware kind of attraction that Disney loves to do.
Yeah, totally.
So I think that's kind of what they're doing now. Personally, I said it on my channel, but I mean, I would love them to actually combine the two. Like for example, at the finale scene for Infinity Defense, if the Kuka Arm vehicles enter the final show building, and you fight King Thanos alongside the Kuka Arms, like together, that would be kind of sick. But like, they'll never do that. That's way too ballsy. And like, also, it would probably create a mess for them in terms of like, you have to shut both rides down if one goes down. So they will never do that. But they were actually going to do something very similar with Indiana Jones. There was concept art. For the Indiana Jones adventure where like the Jungle Cruise is actually going to go through that show building and stuff. Which I thought
we know it well. Oh, we know it well.
I love that. I love that.
We've talked about it often, haven't we, Mark?
Yeah, we have. You know, in fact, on our show, we have something called the randomizer, where it's a generator that spits out the top 3 attractions of either park at any time. And you get to pick one. So there's like 3 of them, and you get to keep one as it is. You get to destroy one, or you get to add some addition to it. But you have to describe what that addition is. Whenever the Jungle Cruise comes up, it's always whenever Indy comes up, people say, "Oh, we want the Jungle Cruise to go in there. We want that mine cart ride that was supposed to go in there, or we want like some sort of skipper canteen to sort of marry those 2 attractions, so you can have a drink out. Those are always the answer for Indy in Jungle Cruise. So
love it. I love that artwork. That was such a fantastic idea.
I love it.
Epic. 100%. It was great.
See, the reason why I asked that question was because I'm sorry. Was when I first saw that the Kuka Arm attraction, I was thinking, oh, well, this is going to be the prelude to what the main attraction is. Like, oh, this is what you guys are going to be training to do, is fighting King Thanos. And when you do that, you get to go on this, you know, Avengers or whatever it is, defense thing. But maybe not. I mean, I think I'm totally off base with that.
You never know. Yeah, it's interesting. I just hope they hit a home run with this e-ticket, because we've been waiting for like, since 2019 when they announced it. I mean, it's got to deliver. I mean, after waiting this long, you know, it's got to.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I couldn't agree with you all anymore. It's something we've been waiting for this e-ticket attraction since 2019. So this, I'm really hoping, and I don't think it's going to happen. I wish it would. Like I like OG's version, which I've actually discussed with him, and I said, when you look at the concept art on the construction wall of these 2 Avengers attractions, you look at it, and you have the Kuka Arm attraction, Stark Flight Labs, and then on the back end, you have Infinity Defense. Well, what if, kind of, like OG's saying, as a recruit, you go on Stark Flight Labs, and it kind of immerses you, and it kind of brings back that kind of like that old school Disney, how they built back in the day. And the perfect example of that is Tomorrowland. When you look at Tomorrowland, for example, the People Mover track goes through multiple buildings, has multiple scenes that you can only see on that attraction when it was around. What if they built Stark Flight Labs to kind of integrate into Infinity Defense, where it tells multiple storylines, and at some point, and this is credit to OG, this is not my idea, it kind of intermixes into one show element scene where you have the recruits from Stark Flight Labs, and then you have the kind of rookie Avengers fighting along with the real Avengers to beat King Thanos, and both attractions come together at once.
Oh,
love it,
love it, guys. Love it, guys.
That's my personal opinion on it.
Yeah. Well, here's my last opinion on this before we go. Is before we roll the tape, is that once they cleared the land for this these two new attractions, it was all dirt and everything. I was telling Udi, I go, you know what? That land is big enough that they could put Avatar there, and that actually might fit better than what they're trying to do over at Hollywood Studios. It's massive, that land.
Yeah. Well said.
But that was my thought. In any case, I'll stop.
Gotcha. So I'm going to play more of this video, and then I want to get to Bricky's video before we end tonight, because he has some valid points about the Hollywood Boulevard.
27 is probably the most logical, or perhaps the most optimistic timeline, just considering where we are today and having watched them build these things before. It took them 4 or 5 years to build Cosmic Rewind. Now that's a whole nother, I don't even know how this compares, Avengers Infinity Defense, how it compares to Cosmic Rewind in terms of scale and the size of operations, etc. And there were other factors that contributed to it taking that long. Tron took forever too, multiple years. So it would be optimistic to think that they could build this thing in less than 3 years, is what I'm saying, I guess. But having said that, that's where it fits in. Avengers will be done after they will have already hopefully begun those other projects, the Eastern Gateway, Coco, etc. Coco is going to be started right away. Somebody asked if I thought they could build Coco before. Would Coco open before Avengers Infinity Defense? No, I don't think so. Coco is still going to take 2 years, and we're about 1.5 years out on Avengers, I think. No, Coco will probably take more than 2 years now that I think about it. In any case, that's the order. So once they're, all that stuff is going to be beginning at about the same time. They'll finish Avengers and then move that crew over to Avatar and start building the Avatar experience. So look for Avatar to start going, actual construction at about that time. Early 27 is my guess. It'll take that long, by the way, for them to, if they're closing, God, it would take at least that long. If they're closing Monsters Inc. in May, then it would take, like I said, a few months to gut it, to take, to move everything out. Then they have to demo the buildings. That takes months. Then they have to grade the land. That takes months. Like 5, 6, 7 months probably. And plus there's the issue with, how it relates with the transportation hub. And considering all that, I think we do have some sort of basic guess as to what the final timeline will be starting from now. Coco demo starts, we'll call it December of 26. Closing Monsters Inc. May of 26. Demo of the buildings, the Monsters Inc. buildings, maybe late summer 26. At the same time, our first action at the Eastern Gateway.
I want to ask you guys something, because I think this is just the majority of his video, what he was talking about. But the fact that he's saying, like I said earlier, May of just closing Monsters Inc., not demoing it, not stripping it, not doing any of that, just closing it. And then maybe late July, early August, mid-August, maybe even early September, they start demoing those buildings. Here's where I have another big problem, is because now you close a land, even though it only had one attraction in there, but it does kind of serve a purpose though, because think about it, a lot of meet and greets happen in there. A lot. I've seen all sorts of meet and greets go in there, from the Zootopia characters to as bizarre as Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh doing meet and greets in that area, to Captain Marvel doing meet and greets in that area. There's been all sorts of characters across the Walt Disney Company with IP based doing meet and greets in that land. And if you close that land to start tearing down the buildings, which is fine, I guess, but here's the problem. You're having summer crowds come in because the kids are off of school. Right. Then on top of that, what happens in early August? D23. And what does D23 attract? People from all over the United States to fly into California, and specifically the Anaheim area, to go experience D23. And they even have a D23 day at the Disneyland Resort, where it's always booked, and it's always, the reservations go like a snap of a finger, like King Thanos does with that glove, in Endgame. You blink and it's gone. But they also do some incentives if you do get to go. Like, they usually hand out like some type of free something that's D23 related, whether you're a D23 member or not. So if they're demoing these buildings, and believe me, it's no quiet, library when they do these things. It's destructive, it's loud, it's interruptive. My problem with that is now you're closing off another area, and DCA is already small to begin with, and it has less attractions than Disneyland itself. So how does Disney justify charging as much as they do to sit there and go into a park where they might be interrupted by demo alongside trying to deal with construction walls? And on top of that, we don't know what's underneath these buildings or what's running through them. Just because they're vacant and they're not, guests can't go in there, doesn't mean that, construction crews might hit something and then all of a sudden a section of the park goes down with no power. It happens all the time. The time.
One thing too, Conductor, before we play the tape again, one thing too is, I really aged myself. Play the tape.
I know. I was going to say something. Yeah.
Play the tape. No, but another thing that we have to consider too, with all this construction that's going to be happening at DCA, is it's definitely going to impact Oogie Boogie, because right, with the parade route will be impacted for sure with the Coco stuff back there behind the coaster. And you're cutting off that whole area with Monsters Inc. That's going to make it a lot more cramped back in Hollywood as well. So Oogie Boogie will definitely be impacted. So I wonder if they're going to move that over to Disneyland temporarily or something. We'll see.
Well, I don't know.
Well, let me comment real quick on your point, Conductor, real quick. Disney is not going to justify a price hike. They never do. They're not going to. Doesn't matter to them. Straight up, it doesn't. But I see your point about D23 and everything. But at one point in time, you have to basically rip the Band-Aid off. You've got to go. And even though it's going to impact all these things, which is kind of the whole point of it, and the whole point of the other video is how it impacts everything down the road. At some point or other, you got to rip the Band-Aid off, and you're going to have to go. So to me, I get the point of, like, we already have seen the price hikes and all this stuff, but they're going to have to go. And so it's going to affect D23. It's going to affect anything and everything for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So I don't see them. The only thing that I see them being a logical reason why they would delay anything would be for logistic reasons, whether it be material, money, or permitting. Other than that, I don't see any other logical reason for them to delay another thing. Because all these other factors, while they do affect our experience and people go to the park, absolutely does. It's going to affect it when they start it, whether they start it tomorrow or they start it in a month or they start in 2 months. It's going to be part of the park for the duration of the project. So to me, I'm like, just get on.
No, you're not wrong, Udi. You're not wrong. It's just I couldn't agree more. They need to rip the Band-Aid off. That is not the problem I have. The problem I have is charging what they're charging, because now, and this is a completely separate topic, I didn't even include it in this live stream, is what Disney just announced, which was that dynamic pricing. So now it gives them the justification to charge whatever they want and get away with highway robbery in a way, because that's the new system they want to implement. And not saying Disney's going to abuse that privilege, and I don't use that terminology lightly, but I'm not going to put it past them either. I'm really not. That's just how I feel. So hopefully I'm wrong. I like to be proven wrong, especially Me too. We talk about it all the time on Orange Grove 55. Is Disney is held to a higher standard than competitors like Universal. Disney's always in the spotlight. So when they mess up something, even as minor as it could be, they're always in the spotlight and they're always called out for it. Don't get me wrong. Universal gets called out as well, but Disney is like, oh, you turned your head the wrong way? No, we're going to call you out for that. Oh, you smiled at me wrong? Oh, no, we're going to call you out for that. Just stupid stuff. But they put themselves in that position with fans across the board that hold them to that standard.
Well said.
Well
said.
So, the next video I'm going to play, this is from Bricky Vlog. This is his sister channel that he has. Again, anyone that hasn't subscribed to Bricky Vlog or Hey Bricky on YouTube, I definitely encourage you to do so. If you like everything Disney related and it getting broken down by us Disney nerds, this guy right here, A-class when it comes to that. This guy breaks down stuff I'm even still learning today. So definitely go check him out. But his video is kind of describing on where Avatar is going to be set in Disney California Adventure. Obviously, the Hollywood Studios backlot. But the problem is all this Hollywood Boulevard theming, and like OG has mentioned, that's also the parade route. So how do you justify doing that? And before I play this video, I mentioned this on his video. I said, and this is a perfect example. If you look at where the Hollywood Studios archway is and you see where Smoothies is, why not close that off and literally go adjacent across the way where it's one big long facade wall of the boulevard, so you can't even enter what's going to be Avatar eventually. You block this off and then you move right. So when you go into DCA, right, and you go into the gates and you look to the left and you have Oswald's little gas station there, and literally right next to that you have the City Hall building. What if they relocated that City Hall building and built the entrance to Avatar in that space, giving it the immersion, the kind of hideaway and all that stuff? And you wouldn't even have to destroy Hollywood Boulevard. If anything, you would build more fake facades that would cover up Avatar. And you would keep the Hollywood Boulevard, but extend it.
That is really smart.
I'm actually looking at Google Maps right now, and
that is really smart.
You're correct.
You know what? Let me bring up Google Maps since you mentioned that, Mark. Let me do that because I have it on my screen here. Let me pull that up real quick, and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, because OG knows what I'm talking about.
While you're doing it,
Oh,
I just want to say thanks again for having Udi and I on your show. This is the kind of stuff that we love talking about, and it's so cool to see other people doing this. And I just want to say thanks again for having us.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's fun talking shop with you guys, man. I love doing it. It's this nerdy breakdown stuff is like the best.
Dude, you know what? It's so fun. Udi and I used to go to the parks quite a bit, and there was a time where just when he and I walked around Fantasyland for an hour, didn't write anything, but talked about design and theme and transitions. And you know, two grown men just walking by each other talking about this and this and this, and that's something that I still think about is how fun that was.
Yeah,
just how cool it was. Yeah. Anyway,
sometimes that's the best kind of thing, man, because you'll always, here's the thing, Mark, you'll always remember that, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Whereas like the rides are cool.
Yeah.
But you don't remember specific instances of riding pirates because you've done it so many times. But special moments like that.
Yes.
With you and Uday going through and talking, those are the memories right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep.
it hits different. It really does.
Well, yeah. Well said, OG.
Yeah. So when you look at this is exactly what I'm talking about. If you moved Oswald's, gas station, and then here's the Chamber of Commerce right here. If you move that, okay, because obviously this service road is going to be pushed back. We saw that in the concept art. It's obviously going to be pushed back way up here somewhere. Why not annex this? Get rid of this, remove it if you want, relocate it somewhere else, and build that kind of tunnel immersion that you kind of see with cars. And I can actually go to cars. I don't know if I can bring up the bridge point, but
no, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
This right here.
Mm-hmm.
So this archway that Bricky's talked about in his videos before, what if we had something like that where it's completely enclosed? Or even better example, you look at Galaxy's Edge, leaving Frontierland to go into Galaxy's Edge, and you kind of go under the tunnel, under the rock work to finally land yourself in Galaxy's Edge. What if Avatar did that, and they did that right at the front here?
Yeah, that's a fascinating. Good. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that would be amazing.
No, go ahead.
It would be really smart. It would be really, really smart if they did that. And it would fit with that park in general, that kind of idea.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, and not a lot of people are talking about that. Like, it's a fascinating kind of angle to kind of approach this.
It is, because you could totally circumvent any construction along Hollywood Boulevard, right? Buena Vista Street, I guess. What is the actual name of that street right there? Isn't it Buena Vista?
Yeah, it's Buena Vista. The when you first walk in, that's Buena Vista.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Then Hollywood Boulevard. I'm sorry, Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood.
Yeah. You could totally close off that section. Is that what you're saying, Conductor? Is close off that archway, and then
put a facade and everything right on that side, and then it would completely disappear that.
Smart.
Oh,
it closes it all off.
Smart. Very smart.
Yeah, my gosh.
Yeah. So
wow.
So in the way I see it, if they close this off and built more fake facades of Hollywood, if they did that, and then let's say they get rid of this theater, they can build again. I know I hate to even say this, but I think the Hyperion's days are numbered.
Personally.
And I think Avengers Campus is going to take that footprint, build another a third e-ticket attraction. I think we're going to get something where it's going to be either based off maybe Wakanda, like Remy D said earlier in the chat, or it's going to be maybe based off Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe basically Stark Flight Labs is Iron Man, so maybe some other big character and they get their own e-ticket attraction. I would not mind that, because we have at least 2, if not 3 more Avengers movies, and I'm very curious if they could build another e-ticket attraction in that Hyperion Theater footprint and base it off the next 3 movies.
Yeah.
And incorporate that.
Could be.
I honestly think so. So you know, this is just me spitballing here, because quite frankly, Disney doesn't listen to me. They don't pay me to contribute, but believe me, if they did, my ideas would go hog wild. I can promise you that.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play Bricky's video and kind of get your guys' reaction to it. And again, same rules apply. Anytime you want me to pause, let me know.
Sounds good.
Hollywood Boulevard at the edge has these 2 elephant pedestals. Elephants lived on those in the opening days. That could be where it starts. The transformation could begin right here, which would then mean that I would be walking in Avatar right now. And some Disney fans are very nervous about this. And that nervousness goes 2 different ways. Some people are nervous Avatar won't get enough space, and others are worried that it'll get too much space. So I thought it would be interesting to break down.
You know what? I want to ask you guys real quick, and I hate to keep stopping the video, but I want to ask you, because he made a valid point. You know, are people nervous about Avatar taking too much of a footprint, or are they nervous that we're not going to get enough Avatar? What do you guys think?
It's interesting, Conductor, but I'm kind of a go big or go home kind of guy. Like, I want it to take as much room as it takes to make it a quality experience. And I don't want Avatar light. If you're gonna put it in here, then do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But you know, it's a weird location and all that. But I mean, I just want it done correctly, and I don't want them to shoehorn it and shrink it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. What about you, Mark?
Well, you know, this thing seems to be expanding in scope, right? Because the first hint of it was an Avatar experience, right? And we didn't know what that really meant. But the more we talk about it, now we see concept art. I think I'm in the same league with you, OG, is that go big or go home. If this is what you're going to do, then you got to do it right. And you take the necessary steps to create the story, create the theming, create the environment, and you got to do it right. And because I don't want to see any, half-assed project. And I don't think Disney will do anything half-assed with this. So that's what I think.
No, and I concur, because I mean, I don't think it needs to go in there. And the reason why I don't think it needs to go in there is because it doesn't look like there's enough space. So definitely Bob Iger has his mindset that for whatever reason, we're going to have an Avatar something over here. Okay. But make it worth it. You made Galaxy's Edge worth it. Make this worth it. If you're going to do this, then yeah. So I prefer it not be there, and that's the reason, because I think it's not enough space for it.
Oh, and what are they doing with the monorail track? I just don't get it.
Dude.
Okay.
It just seems like a lot of logistics they have to climb for this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yep.
It's crazy.
Well, see, this is what concerns me, and I told OG this many times before. This is what concerns me, and Mark, I mentioned it on your channel as well, is the mere fact that to this very minute, we're it's wonderful that the Walt Disney Company created a YouTube channel just for Imagineering. They created a episode series where we can see behind the scenes what they're up to, what they're doing, what projects are being worked on, what's the latest with the animatronics. But what's got me concerned is, Walt Disney World is a resort. Always has been, always will be, and will continue to evolve. The Disneyland Resort, like I said, with one of the biggest events coming in 2028, that they had to have known for years now that's been coming. Why all of a sudden are projects they announced years ago and got approved or were looking to get approved? Why are they just starting now? In my personal opinion, the Disneyland Resort shouldn't have taken priority. You know, my concern is that's great. They're coming out with new technology like the Olaf character that we just saw in the latest episode of their YouTube channel. That's going to be debuting in Paris and Tokyo Disney for their Frozen lands. But again, my issue is when we watched the D23 stream, and I don't know who the guy was, but he had like almost 100,000 people watching because he wasn't supposed to be recording it. But that's beside the point. But from what I saw, and OG was actually there in the Honda Center, they were talking about projects for, you know, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom. They obviously debuted projects for the Disneyland Resort referencing DCA, but it seems like full steam ahead is going along with the Magic Kingdom projects. And what do we have to show for here at the resort besides the 2 Avengers attractions that are being built on backstage areas that have nothing to do with guests being in the Wicked Mountain? So that's the problem I have. And then when we watch the D23 stuff, they're talking about the cruise lines, adding more ships, talking about the international parks, talking about Abu Dhabi, which we don't even have very little information on that park alongside everything else. It's like, why are you guys making that a priority and not making the priority here at home where we're going to have one of the biggest crowds we've seen in 25 plus years for 2 weeks, a basically cash cow audience coming to Southern California to enjoy something, basically an event that comes, you know, every 30 years as far as I'm concerned. And it's going to just bring in the cash flow, and Disney's not taking advantage of it. But yet their competitor, like I said, their competitor Universal 50 miles away is taking advantage of that. We're seeing it with the new Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift project. We're seeing it with, you know, new attractions coming to the lower lot, whether it's studio tour related or it's not. Then we're seeing new security zones being built. We're possibly going to be seeing a new hotel go up here in the next couple months, the construction for that. Then we're seeing City Walk, which once was at its prime with the nighttime entertainment, all this stuff, and they got rid of it because of safety concerns. But now that they're implementing and building new security hubs, we're going to see that kind of come back to life. And they've already been investing in City Walk versus Downtown Disney. They tore down Tortilla Joe's, have done nothing with it. They've moved Earl's Sandwich now 3 times. They can't even close the temporary Earl's Sandwich location to build Portos. They're closing ticket booths, doing nothing with that yet. They're forcing guests to buy tickets online, or basically say, yeah, you see that little tiny little line over there? Yeah, you're going to wait at least an hour for that, so enjoy. Then on top of that, you got all this other stuff they're trying to sprawl out, because that's how the company works, trying to fit it into their budget per quarter. But I think every time they're doing that and they delay stuff, but yet they want to upcharge everything to everybody, it hurts them more and more and more and more. Am I wrong?
No. Conductor, I just want to say, I think that you must know Udi, because you're saying the exact same thing that Udi's been saying for well over a year, and I go, oh my gosh, you guys must have some. You guys must know each other and talk about it, because it's the same thing, and that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah. Well, Conductor, I've got 2 words for you that explains the whole thing. Ready for him? Bob Iger.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And the reason why I say that, because the direction of the company is done by him. He has put his focus on making this an international conglomerate. That is why. If you look, the priority has always been everything away from the core of the company, the heart of the company. Everything has been everything. I mean, Abu Dhabi, when he announced Abu Dhabi, I threw my hat in the air. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? So that's basically it. So you're right. It's 100%. The direction of the company is at his feet. And he's the one who decides that the buck stops with him. He's in charge of the company. And that is the direction for a very long time.
And that's the scary part when with the CEO transition or succession is that you know, you can get the wrong person in there or you get the right person in there. It all depends. But that's the thing. That's the scary part. It's a roll of the dice. And the CEO, that you're 100% correct, Udi, where they set the tone. And it doesn't matter what the part, like when the new CEO comes in, which I think it'll be Josh tomorrow, but you know, I don't know for sure. But when he comes in, he's going to set the tone for the entire company. So whoever becomes the new park person is going to have to kind of do tomorrow's marching orders. You know what I'm saying? So, but if it's not tomorrow, let's say it's Dana Walden. Okay, they're going to have to do what Dana wants, right? So all these executives are answering to the CEO essentially and the board, you know, but that's why you got to get the right person in there. You do. Otherwise, the whole thing, it cascades all the way down.
Yeah, it does. And something you brought up, Conductor, with these Olympics coming in 2028, you knew that they knew about this like 4 years ago. And or at least, well, probably 2024. No, they probably when did LA get win the bid for that?
No, was it a long time ago.
Yeah, but so I do know that the Honda Center is hosting like men and women's volleyball, and that's been known for like a while. So why isn't the city of Anaheim, is that Orange County, working on getting those gondolas up and running, and working with Disneyland to get this thing going? I mean, this thing could be up and running like now. I mean, prior to 2028, right? Or am I wrong? Or is that a bad idea to get those things going?
No, I think they should be more proactive with it. And I didn't know that the volleyball was going into the Honda Center. That's right in Disney's backyard.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's wild to me. I mean, that's absolutely wild to me. So yeah, we'll see. It seems like it's Disney and the city. I mean, they could do more. 100%.
Sure. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, see, the problem I see is, you know, Mark makes an excellent point. It's a big problem because, like you mentioned with the gondola system, why have we not seen any infrastructure for that yet? You got you got the Disneyland Resort, okay? You got them. Then you have, you know, or OC Vibe that's literally surrounding the Honda Center. And like you mentioned, Mark, they're going to have volleyball, probably other sports from the Olympics in the Honda Center.
Yeah.
You know, and that's literally what, a 10-minute drive of that from the Disneyland Resort. So again, I kind of feel that, you know, because of Disney kind of restraining themselves in a way, saying, "Oh, look at us, we're playing it smart, and we're trying to sprawl projects out." Like I said, it's only shooting people in the foot. And Haunted Mermaid, I love her comment. She says, "Is it just me, or is Conductor's Fury voice going up because all these shenanigans?" It is, because right now, as I see it, I cannot sit there and talk to you guys with a straight face and say, I am so glad I'm paying $1,900, if not $2,000, for an Inspire key, and look at me, ha ha ha, I have money, and I'm paying for what? It's like, what in the hell am I missing here? you know, seriously, it's like, come on. And then
love it.
You know, you got Universal. I have the Platinum Pass, and I think OG has the Platinum Pass because I kind of roped him into it, and he loves it now. Is the mere fact that when you have the Platinum Pass at Universal Hollywood, just like I'm sure the same thing in Universal Orlando, what's one of the awesome benefits about having the top tier pass? Well, for example, they offer a free ticket for Halloween Horror Nights. They offer a free ticket for their Eve event. What does the Disneyland Resort offer for paying $1,900? Probably $2,500 by the time at least half of this stuff opens. What do they have to offer? In my personal opinion,
you get
the discount. First of all, the discount needs to be higher. Instead of 15%, it needs to go to either 20 or 25%. Then on top of that, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to offer one free complimentary ticket to Oogie Boogie, even though it's the exact same thing every single year, with maybe a couple little things that you have to kind of search for that are new. And then on top of that, one of the things I look at too is for D23. Me and another buddy of mine were talking. We're all like, how many people have the Inspire key, possibly have the D23 Gold membership, which is a separate membership in itself? How many of those people are out there that probably more than likely are content creators like us, but have it for content purposes? And then when here comes, D23, here comes the big event that Disney has to showcase every 2 years. But yet when you try to buy tickets, it's impossible.
Right.
And it's like, wait a second, you're telling me that I'm paying almost $2,000 for a Magic Key. You're telling me on the other hand, I'm paying probably $120 after taxes for a D23 Gold membership. And you're telling me that I have almost zero chance to buy a ticket for an event that you guys bring every 2 years to feel like I'm actually getting my money's worth, and you're more concerned about getting the tickets for people out of state than you are for residents that want to go to the event that live in Southern California, that actually, in my personal view, keep that pump money into the Disneyland Resort because they're locals and they love going. That's part of the problem I see on that aspect. And then again, it's just it literally infuriates the hell out of me that you're paying these prices. There's nothing new to show for it. And this D23 they did, don't get me wrong, it was awesome, because I rather have the what happened last year than that blue sky nonsense they had a couple years ago with Josh Tomorrow. That was a whole recipe of nonsense that I'm not even going to rant about that, because I can go on for on that. But it's just, my whole thing is, it's just, in a nutshell, it's like, give me something new to justify the prices I'm paying. Please. It's just like, come on, for real. It's just, I don't know. It's me concerned as a consumer, and we've talked about this, me and OG, like I said, until the cows come home, is how, at what point, even for us content creators that pay these insane prices to cover content for maybe that family of four in Idaho or Minnesota or, Georgia, that can't make it out to Southern California and enjoy the magic, but they get a little taste of it by us content creators going into the park, filming content, keeping people, updated on what the resort's doing, boots on the ground. But at what point is Disney going to price us out and say, you know what, we're more concerned about the tourists coming in than we are with the locals? At what point?
Yeah, they want, the tourists, there's big money with potentially big money with tourism. So they want to tap into that, but they also want to keep the locals too. They kind of want to have it both ways. They want the locals to fill in the off season, but then they want like that family from Japan to spend $1 bajillion when they're here. They kind of want to have their cake and eat it too, but we'll see if they can do that. But I think they've been in my opinion, I think they've been. I know Disney has wanted to turn Disneyland Resort into a resort since they opened DC. I think they've done a horrible job at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're right. Correct.
We got Haunted Mermaid here. I wish everyone can go to the parks and enjoy the magic. 100% agree with you, Haunted. 100%. That'd be great.
Yep.
Oh yeah. No, I couldn't agree with her more. You know, this is another big problem I have, and I want to get your guys' opinion. I probably already know the answer, but I want to ask it just because I feel like it, because I'm on a rant. You can see me on a rant. You can hear me on a rant. I don't know what it is, why in God's name they want to hold on to the reservation system out here. Why do they want to do that? But yet Walt Disney World, a tourist destination that attracts people from all over the world, why do they get the privilege to sit there and not have a reservation system in place most of the time? They still use it, but not as often as Disneyland does. They pulled it way back. You know, why are we so keyed on keeping ours close to the vest here at the resort in Anaheim compared to Walt Disney World?
I think it's because we have more locals, and Disney wants to mitigate to some degree. But I think more than that, though, I think it's so Disney has a number of how many people are in the parks each day, and that saves them money on staffing. Because if you have 10,000 people are going to be there on this day, you can staff exactly what you need. You know, you don't overstaff, you don't waste money, right? Or you don't spend $1 more than you have to. That's what I think the main reason is. Now, I don't know the reasoning for Disney World kind of getting rid of theirs, but I think overall that's the reason why they love that reservation system, is because
well said.
I think you're spot on. I think part of it too is one of our listeners brought it up to me, and I had thought about it. Was we're also in California, where the labor laws and minimum wage and a lot of things is different from Florida. So there are factors that do apply, and one of them is that I think the minimum wage has now made it very difficult for any company in California to deal with staffing. So they got very used to that with COVID. I mean, under COVID, the argument was, and they had a little bit of justification, was to control the numbers in the park, right? They had a lot of government agencies. You can't have, all the rules that we had to deal with during that crazy time. But they got very used to that because it was able to control who was there, when they were there. And again, this is all about control. So I think you're right, OG, that a big part of it is so that they can control the infrastructure, the money spent on people there, as far as employees. And so, and then I think a little bit too, is I think they're keeping it because the locals have gotten used to it and they know how to maneuver in it. Yeah, and so that's one thing with it. And I think the comparative would be, and we've adapted, and we think it's stupid, but we know how to work it. And we're very open to be like, here, let me show you how to work it. Florida is a different animal because they're such an international from everywhere. Like, imagine having to explain that in how many different languages, and all these people coming in. It almost made it easier for them to be like, let's get rid of it. And then that way, all the headaches that we have to deal with are gone. And then we don't have the same stipulation as we have in California for labor. So I think that's why I think one of the reasons why they got rid or pared it back as much as they have. So it's all about control at the end of the day.
Control.
Control. Yep, 100%.
Yeah, I think OG's on to something, and he makes an excellent point. I think they want to keep the labor costs down, and I have to take that into account. It's just when you have minimal stuff like that, like what they're trying to do to kind of offset cost, but then you got something that's so blown up in your face saying, oh yeah, we're building this, we're moving dirt, we're moving ground, we're doing that. It's just, it's infuriating to me. It's like, why, even if I wasn't a content creator, let's say I wasn't, and I was just a regular like OG likes to say, I'm going to quote him on this because he loves using this terminology. If I was just a regular soccer mom fan, Disneyland park goer that's just going in for, the day, and I go maybe once a month or whatever the case might be, and I'm not breaking stuff down in my mind or having a YouTube channel talking to fellow content creators about this, it's infuriating to every guest. It really is.
Yeah.
Because I saw it the other day when I was at the resort. You guys all saw my video when I was doing the Festival of Holidays. Perfect example of that. Back in 2017, and actually Dylan from Theme Park Obsession posted this on X at the time. He's like, back in 2017, we had 12 food booths for Festival of Holidays. And each year we went down, 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 down. And now this year we're down to 6 booths. And then maybe like a handful of restaurants that are participating, but they're not booths. They're actual restaurants that are in the park. And then on top of that, when you go to these booths, a lot of the food items are either returning items or they're items that maybe got a little bit of a twist from other events to save on cost. How is that, beneficial to the guest?
It's not.
Personally, for me, that's, I get it. They want to save money. I understand it, but it's cross-cutting to the point where it's like it's almost distasteful.
Yeah,
it is. I'm sorry.
No.
When I could get the same mac and cheese I just had 7 months prior at Food and Wine, why do I want to have the same mac and cheese after I just paid $49 for a sip and savory pass? Why do I want to do that? I can go to my local grocery store, make the same mac and cheese for a fraction of the price, and make a huge bunch of it and have leftovers.
There you go.
For this little tiny little small thing, it's like I'm paying money to enjoy food that is new, not something that's returned or from another event, just so you guys can save money.
Now, I do want to diverge a little bit, but Haunted Mermaid said if she wasn't a CM, a cast member, I wouldn't be able to bring my son in. Thankful for that, and I just want to say we're thankful for you, Haunted Mermaid, for being a cast member and bringing the magic to all of us. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for that.
And I want to give a big shout out to Haunted Mermaid 13 as well. I don't know if she was a fan of yours, OG, and she came over to my channel, but I'm so thankful to have her on my channel as a supporter. Awesome, amazing person, absolute fan. And she's not wrong though. If she wasn't a cast member,
be hard.
Even she's doubting that she would go to the resort and bring her son because it's getting that damn expensive. And I want to give all the praise to the world for her and other cast members, because I'm sorry, nowadays people and guest behavior is absolutely atrocious. The only guest behavior we see that's even remotely positive, believe it or not, is in the international parks. The domestic parks, forget it. It's like a free-for-all.
I love Conductor right now. I love how fired up you are,
dude. It's ridiculous, man. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of not having nice things come to the domestic parks because of guest behavior. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. It's perfect example. I want to show you guys this because I don't know if you guys saw this. This was from Obsession.
No.
Dude, when you guys see this, if you haven't already, you're going to say, what in God's name am I looking at here? Let me see if I can find it. He posted it. Let me see if I could find it real quick. Because I know he has it, so I just got to find it. Because I even commented on it. Oh, here we go. Okay.
What's this?
So, tell me this. Tell me this is not distasteful. Who in the hell allows their kid to go on top of that? Here, let me play it again. I guess it doesn't have to. Hold on. Who in the hell allows their kid to go on top of a structure that no person in their right mind should ever go on and do that? This is in Universal Orlando. This is not the Japan Super Nintendo. This is in Orlando. This is at Epic Universe. This right here is one of many examples why we cannot have nice things like a possible roaming Olaf character eventually coming to the domestic parks as part of a frozen land, either at the Disneyland Resort or Walt Disney World, is because of this type of guest behavior right here. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it Little Black as I see it.
No, you're right. And here's the thing. He looks like a young kid. But you know what? Here's the thing. It's like, where are the parents, number one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like if this kid, it doesn't look like he got hurt, but you know, if he did though, I'm sure the parents would be right in line to sue Universal.
Oh, for sure they would.
You know, and it's like, come on, you know, follow the rules. They got to change that though, because I'm looking at this. It looks like I could see how he got up. They might have to work something out here where people can't do this, because it looks a little easy to hop that little question mark block and then you get on the green thing and then you're up there. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they got to work. Universal might have to do something to prevent that.
Wow.
That's insane, dude. That is absolutely insane.
Did he get in trouble for this?
Automatic removal of the part.
Yeah, it should be.
And like ban.
Oh, is that what he got?
No, that's what it should be. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah. Bring back lifetime bans if they've ever got rid of them.
Holy cow! I'd be so upset if I was there and I saw.
I could. Mark, you'd be freaking out,
dude.
Freaking out if you were there.
I got upset when that kid was throwing his trash off the Mark Twain, right to the rivers of America. Yeah, his parents.
I'm getting triggered even just hearing it, Mark.
Yeah, Udi was right next to me, and
we're like, what?
Throwing trash. Yep. And I was like, okay, his parents are right there. I didn't want to say anything, but I was like, dude, I holy cow, I was upset.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane.
Yep.
We can do better. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
Well said. We can do.
It's just, again, prime example why we can't have nice things here. We just can't. And you know, when you look at some areas like Galaxy's Edge, you look at, you know, Avengers Campus, in some areas, you know, things are destroyed. People don't care. They leave their food and drinks everywhere because they think maid service is going to come clean it up. I'm sorry, but it's just bad guest behavior. Now,
real quick, sure. Conductor, real quick, but hang on to your thought real quick. That's another thing that really bothers me, since we're going to have like a little bit of a rant show. That's another thing that bothers me, is how people treat like cast members and people in the service industry. Like, because, you know, the housekeeping will come and do it. It's like, that's not the point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that. I hate that mentality of like, I'm going to trash it. We got someone in here to come clean it up. How people treat you know, service workers, hospitality workers is a 100% reflection on their character. 100%. You know, when I see people like, you know, treating like fast food workers really poorly and stuff like that, it makes me sick to my stomach, dude. And I don't like that mentality at all.
Yeah. Well, it's what I call the shopping cart theory. Like, if people can't be bothered to walk the shopping cart like 5 feet over into the corral. Come on. That happens way too much.
Yeah, I was just at Costco this today. I didn't see you, Conductor, but I was there, and people were just like leaving their cars like 5 feet from where they should be putting them, and that kind of stuff bothers me all the time.
Well, and Costco carts are like cars in and of themselves. Those are massive.
Yeah,
they're huge.
They're massive. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's sad. And there's been there's so much bad behavior, and I feel like, and you guys were talking about it, Uday and Mark, about the behavior or like the changes since COVID. And that's one of them. Society has really gone down the drain since the pandemic. I mean, it's gotten bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, see, it's interesting to me because Mark makes an excellent point. Within regards to retail, like Costco, I see it all freaking day long, all day long, whether it's people leaving carts, just wherever the hell they feel like it, or, people inside the warehouse shopping and they get something from the food court and they're roaming the floor and all of a sudden they leave their drink, on a shelf and there's a trash can 5 feet away or something like that. And then, to go on what OG's saying about the parks, I've seen it personally when I'm trying to film content, respectfully, because I know there's kind of like bad blood with park guests and vloggers because, not all of us, but some of us, a small handful, kind of has unfortunately abused that privilege and kind of put a red scarlet leather on all of us, so people see us filming and they're like, oh God, here comes this guy, or here comes this lady, or who, they see a camera, they're all like, oh God, let's move. We've kind of gotten that representation because of, people that are vloggers not paying attention to the rules, not following the rules, disrespecting cast members and even other park guests, and ruining it for everyone else. And that's one of the biggest problems I see, and I'm sure I'm going to see it in Orlando when I go in March, because a good friend of the channel, Jared from Capture the Magic, he does a weekly show with Orange Grove 55 called Theme Parkin', and they've talked about this numerous of times, where he's gone to Walt Disney World, he's gone to Universal Orlando, and the guest behavior, especially at Walt Disney World, the guest behavior is like so atrocious, it's almost hard to miss. It's that bad.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. It's not good. But, kind of reverting back real quick, what Bricky was trying to get at, and I know I didn't play the video because I went on this little rant and everyone fed into it, was basically he was basically saying in a nutshell that, destroying Hollywood Boulevard would be more of a nightmare, basically, in a way, than it would be beneficial. So
yeah, and Bricky has an architectural background.
Yeah.
So he makes a great case where, it sort of sets things up, and if you get rid of it, you kind of lose that. And he was saying that, like, in that video, it was a great video. He said that people don't realize if they took it away, how much it would impact the park, So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, though. I can't picture it in my head at all.
No.
But we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Definitely see. Yeah.
But I want to end on tonight's note and saying that all we talk about on the theme park space, whether it's us four together, other fellow content creators, because there's a wide variety of us covering the theme parks, the Walt Disney Company, Universal, Comcast, and hopefully Universal, Comcast plus Warner Brothers, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I want to just kind of reach out to everyone watching on YouTube, watching on X. We bring up these issues, we discuss them, we talk about it. It's because it's a concerning factor. Because when you go into Disneyland or you go into the Magic Kingdom, you are going there, as far as I'm concerned, I could be wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong, but you go into the Disney parks to kind of get away from your personal life. This is the way I see it. To get away from your personal life, to get away from your personal problems, and kind of just, take a step back, relax, enjoy the environment, enjoy the entertainment that the parks have to offer, and forget about your life for the day, and just enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
It's a stress reliever as I see it
Yeah.
going into the parks. So my whole thing is, it's not that we're insisting that you don't go to Disneyland, you don't go to the Magic Kingdom, you don't go to Universal Parks. We are trying as content creators to put information out there so a family that's booking a vacation to these parks, whether they're from out of state or not, can be informed on what to know before they go. Because the last thing, sorry to say it, at least with the Disney parks, you almost have to be 3 steps ahead to be prepared on what you can experience when you finally get there and you finally start exploring, once you get over the hurdle of buying tickets and getting into the park. So
Well, and
it's
that's
not for bad mouthing the parks or the companies. We are putting the information out there so you, the guests, are informed.
Yeah, they should make it easier. And I feel who I really feel bad for, the young kids are going to get all the new technology stuff, all the Gen Zers and the, and even like for the most part millennials. I don't think we're that old yet, but like when you get into like the baby boomer era and stuff, this is aging population and they might not be as tech savvy.
Agreed.
But they still love the parks. And how are they going to navigate that? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But guys, it was a wonderful conversation. I cannot wait to have you guys back on. And, it was just awesome to kind of just talk about this. I'm so glad that Orange Grove 55 made it tonight, because Mark, Odie, you guys think just like I do, like OG does. So we could talk for hours on end about this stuff. That's what is an awesome bond between content creators. When we have this shared passion, it's just so amazing that we can discuss this in a public forum on a live stream and people engage. I find it absolutely phenomenal. Cannot wait to have all you guys back on the channel very soon. But I'm going to start with the one and only Orange Grove 55 with that wild, wicked patent hair. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, really fun show, guys. And Udi and Mark, you're always welcome on OG 55. We'd love to have you on as a guest one day. Talk shop.
Anytime, and that makes my evening for sure.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. But Conductor, thank you for being an amazing host as always.
Yes.
Great time on another Conductor Sunday Live. I want to thank the chat, everybody. But you can find me on YouTube right here on Orange Grove 55, talking parks, talking studio, corporate. We even do a thing now where it's like we go on location. They're called bar chats, and we literally talk about theme parks over like a beer, like just.
Oh my gosh.
And those are really fun. So we've been doing a lot of those lately. So it's been a good time. So yeah, check us out, Orange Grove 55, and you can also find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55.
Love it. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
And I'll pass it over to Uday.
Hey, thank you. Great meeting you, OG55. Thank you, Conductor. Awesome conversation. Appreciate it. You can find me on my Instagram, HAXGOALIE Haxgoli, and then on Leaving Today. Whatever IG is, I don't even know what it is, Mark, but Mark will let you know. You can find me there.
There he is.
And guys, thanks again, guys.
Yeah. And again, I want to extend our thanks, Conductor. Thanks for inviting us on your show tonight. And OG, awesome meeting you. I've been watching you for a long, long time. And you've provided a lot of hours of entertainment for me while I'm at work. I listen to your stuff. So yeah, for sure. About us, Leaving Today podcast, we are about to start year 10 in February. Episode 234 drops tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. That's Indy time. We have a special guest on tomorrow. It's a mental mouse. He does a lot of Disney trivia, and we're doing top 10 secrets of Main Street USA tomorrow. So look out for that. But we are a very open and honest podcast about the parks. We love talking about like the news, attractions, themes, history, and we call it as we see it. We've got a pretty good community of listeners that come on, and we're primarily audio, but we've been doing video every other Wednesday night on LTP Lounge. You guys are welcome, Conductor and OG, anytime you want. I sincerely mean it. Anytime to even do the audio show, it's a lot of fun, and I sincerely and our LTP Lounge every other Wednesday, which we might actually start doing every Wednesday because we're getting traction on that. But you guys are welcome to do it, and I hope you stay connected because I enjoy you guys all very, very, very much.
Yeah, appreciate it. And
yeah, of course.
Absolutely. And I want to give a big shout out to not only our guests that joined tonight's live stream, because it was absolutely incredible by far, minus the little audio issues. I'm going to try to work on that. I don't know what was going on, but I want to also give a big shout out to our guests in the chat and to our 2 content creators that we used their videos to kind of discuss a little bit.
Yeah.
Was David from Fresh Baked, which
Yes.
actually it was his sister channel, Fresh Baked Presents, and Bricky from Hey Bricky, which his video, even though it was for a brief second because I went on a rant and kind of lost track of time.
Next time.
It was Bricky Vlogs, but definitely go check out both gentlemen's channels because they have multiple channels. I think even Bricky's in Europe right now, and he plans on visiting, I think, I could be wrong, I think he plans on visiting Disneyland Paris, and if he does, I'm very curious to see his perception of that park. I cannot wait for that. It's going to be absolutely incredible to see that. But again, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on Conductor Sunday Livestream. Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. Make sure to like and subscribe to Theme Park Conductor. And like I said in the chat, I do have channel membership on the channel, and it has been live for the last couple days. I am going to be adding more content in the next couple weeks because I am going to be at the Disneyland Resort, and I am going to be at Universal for the takeover event night on the 4th. So catch me there. If you see me at the parks, I encourage you guys, please come say hello. I welcome it with open arms to come say hello. If you want to get a picture, you want to talk to me for a brief moment, you know me. I love talking theme parks, so you will not bore me one damn bit. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Unless you see me dashing somewhere, believe me, I'm good to go. I promise you that.
And I'll be with Conductor that day actually on the 4th at Universal.
Man.
For some of the night, I'll be there with you for some of the night. So
awesome.
Yeah, if you see us at Universal, just say hi, say what's up.
Awesome.
But again, thank you guys, and I will see you guys next Sunday on Conductor Sunday Livestream. Have a good night, everybody, and wish me the best because I'm going to work at 2 a.m, so I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, awesome. Great.
So have a good night, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.